Welcome back to Healy Modified. I'm Harry Eddy, and I'm going to explain to you in a little more detail what's so unique about the SST handlebars for the 2018 and up GL1800s. We're going to talk more detail about how to make adjustments, how to access the adjustment points, and what their reaction is. Okay, so a quick overview of what we have here. This is a 2018 GL1800. It's touring and it's a DCT. Now we have the Corbin saddle on, which I love, and it's probably about my 40th or 50th Corbin saddle on various bikes. It's a good starting point. But it also moves you back about 2 inches, and most seats are going to do that because the factory seat, Honda pushes you forward on purpose. Very uncomfortable. So that being said, we decided to build this bar in response to what we were hearing consistently, which is we would like a bar about 1 inch taller and about 2 inches back, but basically the same handlebar. And this was feedback primarily from people that were using our adapters, which is in that neighborhood, but it cannot replicate the stock angle because we were forced to mount them, the base in front, and then bring the bars pivoted back, kind of like that. This is like factory. It's the same width, the same angles this way, and the same angles this way. So when we set this up and send it out to you and you install it, you arrive pre-adjusted and pre-torqued. As long as you follow the instructions and you set this pivot 6 inches above the plastic right here, you're going to be 1 inch higher, 2 inches back. But say that's really not what you want. Say you want maybe a little bit forward, or you want to rotate this end down further. We've got 2 pivots here that can do that. This is one of them, which allows me to adjust this bar forward and back, and another one underneath that allows us to rotate this way. So we can adjust this way and this way. Now, that's assuming we like the 1 inch higher. We could adjust this up even higher if we want. It starts to go further forward as you do that. So that's better for taller, longer reach riders. If you want it further back, it's going to be going down and back. So that's really something a shorter reach, shorter rider would prefer. But let me just show you what some of these adjustments can do. So this requires a 6mm hex. And I'm just going to loosen this. And underneath, this is a larger piece of hardware, and this requires an 8mm hex. So, say I basically like this position, but I want it a little bit further forward. Well, I just push it a little bit further forward. Maybe even a little further forward. Or I just want to come back. Maybe I want to come back even more. That's even too close for me. But say I want to lower this down. Well, I can do that with the other pivot. Or I want it higher. There's a series of index marks here. You can't see it real clear, but in person it's very obvious. The single dot on the bottom is stationary, and the dots on top increase and decrease on the left or right side of that index mark. So it's fairly simple to get them mirrored the same. But imagine between raising this in the upper clamp up or back for height change, that combined with this and this, pretty amazing. This is the kind of adjustability that we've become used to in our cars and trucks to be extremely comfortable. So let's say, this really isn't my preferred angle, but let's say I like to push this down in that way, but my buttons are now facing too far down. That's not a problem either, and that's what these 2 bolts are for. These hold the bar tube in place, but they also clamp it from rotating. So now I can adjust my buttons back up where I want. So all three of them can be adjusted that way. And when you get done, you just put your torque wrench in here. Once all three of these are done, I would start with the large one down here before you lose that. And this gets torqued to 22 foot-pounds. This gets torqued to 16 to 18 foot-pounds. And these guys, all they need is 12. And there you have it. You'll mirror left to right. In some cases, it's better to just adjust one side at a time because, believe it or not, none of us are the same on the left and right side, especially if we've had an injury. We are now able to favor each side. I hope this has been of interest, and I hope it, if you already have the bars, it gives you the courage to go ahead and make adjustments. Just remember to tighten them when you get done. For some reason, if you forget to fully tighten it, they do have safety locks. They'll only travel so far and they stop. And we built that for your safety. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there, but also ride.